Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Damn, that's a sexy car. And you ain't wrong. This is my 2018 C63s Coupe. I love the way it looks, the way it sounds, the way it makes me feel. It's a head turner and a panty dropper all in the same vein. But just like the hottest of chicks, they've got their problems. And this car does too. And I have no problem admitting its faults here for you in this video. Here, my friends, are the top 3 things I hate about my C63s Coupe.
All right, so coming in at number 3 are these back bumper pieces. I am not a fan of them at all. If you live overseas and you're driving one of these cars, these actually don't exist, and the C63 looks infinitely better from behind when these bumps aren't here. You can actually get these removed, but it costs a couple of $1,000s, and if you do that, then it'll probably void your warranty, because if you get rear-ended, they're going to tell you, well, these are placed here for a reason, and also it wouldn't meet the regulations for North American to be North American and drive this car. They're there to protect the driver. When you get hit from behind, these take the brunt of the damage, kind of like when I got rear-ended, and it saves the frame of your car. It also absorbs a lot of the impact. So it is a great safety feature, but man, it is ugly. I've kind of forgot about it because I love the car so much. It's kind of like a parent that has an ugly child, and you just kind of forget that the child's ugly because you love them so much. Well, that's kind of how I feel about these bumps. So that is coming in at number 3 for things that I hate about my C63. Okay, coming in on the second thing that I hate about my C63, and we're staying right on the back end. I know, the back end, it is still a sexy back end, but she's got some problems, for me anyway, are the exhaust tips. Now, these are just cosmetic show. You've got 4 of them back there, but if you look inside, you'll see our little tiny dinky exhaust back there, and it doesn't look bad when you're standing from behind. Like, you can't tell at all. But the moment that you kind of lower a bit, you realize that, wait a second, these aren't actually the exhaust. Those are just little tips, fake, they're not even attached. They're just detached. It looks cheap. It's dinky looking. I'm not a big fan of that at all. I know I'm nitpicking. I mean, yeah, when we're in the back end talking about bumps and cosmetic tips, but yeah, I'm not a fan.
The number 1 thing that I hate about my C63s is actually inside the vehicle. Now, typically you would have your gear shifter here where you'd put it into drive, neutral, whatever the case may be. Well, that's not it here in the C63. This is actually sort of like a mouse pad that you can control by swiping up and down on the mouse pad. I call it a mouse pad, and then you can actually click it in and get through displays. But the dumb thing about this is this little dial actually does the same thing. So you can turn this around in circles, and then you can clip this down and it will choose something for you, right? It'll choose what you're selecting, kind of like pressing down on this. So there's a lot of shit going on here that it does the same thing. And it's kind of confusing. I'm getting used to it now, but I just don't like it. And the main reason why I don't like it is because your gear shifter isn't here. It's up here behind the wheel. This thing, this little fucking dinky looking thing is how you switch gears. So as you can see, right now I'm in park, and to get it into park, there's this little button here at the top that you just clip in and it goes into park. If I want to go into drive, let me move my seat a little closer. If I want to go into drive, all I do is obviously hold in my brake and press down fully on there, and now it's in drive. So now I can drive. If I want to just put it into neutral on the fly and like give a rev, I have to clip it up just once, just like that. Now I'm in neutral. Now if I were to do a full push up, it would go into reverse and then back into drive. And to park, you just clip in the button, and now I'm in park. And I fucking hate it. I'm gonna be honest with you, I actually hate this so much. It feels cheap. It looks cheap. When I drove the SL63, it actually had a little tiny gear shifter, and it had a nice AMG emblem right on the top. It looked really sleek. And all this does look, you know, very modern, and it's nice on the eyes when you're sitting in here and you're kind of seeing the whole grand picture. It's just not practical. Like, I wouldn't be mad about these two things doing the exact, I mean, I'm doing a lot of like sexual motions. I wouldn't care that these two both do the same thing. This is nice when you're kind of scrolling in with your iPhone. If you're on GPS and you're looking at maps, you can kind of scroll in, scroll out of the map, which is great. But beyond that, like if I go to nav here, so I can go, there we go. And I can just kind of scroll in and scroll out. I mean, that is nice. That is very, very nice. I like it. But I don't like the fact that because we have this shit has to go up here. It's pointless. It looks ugly. Every time somebody sits in my driver's seat, they're confused as hell. They go for like down here to put it in a drive, but it's up here and you got to explain it to them. Now, I am used to it, but I still don't like it. Every time I turn on my car and I put it in a drive, I kind of cringe a little bit. Now, is this enough to like not want the car? Absolutely not. It's nitpicking. There's not a lot of things that I don't like about this car, but this sucks. This absolutely sucks. Okay, so coming in at a honorable mention. Yes, I'm giving it an honorable mention. Look at that. Oh, fuck. Is where the ECU is placed. Right now, my ECU is down there strapped up to a whole bunch of twist ties. It is in there good. I know it looks kind of amateurly MacGyver rigged in there, but it's in there nice and tight. We're building a bracket to put here on the side or down in here on the side. We haven't figured it out. But the reason why this kind of annoys me is because when I got my ECU tuned, the ECU is actually way underneath all of the engine, and it takes hours to get at. So if you are ever planning on tuning the car, you're going to be spending a little bit of extra labor to get your mechanic to go underneath, or if you do it yourself, to go underneath and find it, and it's a pain in the ass. My mechanic had a bunch of scratches and scars all down his arm from trying to get up underneath there and picking that up. The reason why we didn't put it back in there is if we ever had an issue with the chip, then we would be able to just easy access it, ship it out to WiseTech, get them to do it, bring it back, and we're good as gold. So that's an honorable mention. I know it doesn't really matter if you're not really tuning your car or anything like that in terms of an ECU tune, but in my specific case, it did cost me a bit of extra money. I am gonna have to do a workaround to get this out this way. They just had to feed all the wires and stuff up through here, which was not a big problem, but you got to pay for those sort of things, and you got to think long term. If something does go wrong, you'd have to repay to get somebody to go up underneath there again and then go in there and put it back in. So honorable mention. I know I'm stretching for things to hate about my car, and I wouldn't really call any of them hate except for that damn gear shifter in there. I fucking hate that. The other stuff is just, I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. All right, guys, so there you have it. Those are the 3 things that I hate about my car and one honorable mention. Let me know what you think about those things that I don't really like in the comment section below. And also, up next, we will have 5, maybe 10, I don't know yet, things I love about my C63. I am having a blast driving this car. It's just amazing. It's everything I ever wanted in a vehicle. It makes me feel special. It makes me feel successful. It makes me feel good. You know, if the wife comes home from work and she's like, I'm too tired, I go with my car and I get my rocks off by just giving her a little bit of this and a whole lot of that. Subscribe if you haven't already. Finger bang that like button, and we will see you guys on the next one. Stay bows.